So yesterday I sold my wedding ring and I drained our savings so that we can have the money to file bankruptcy. Here's the money to be able to file. I'm here now waiting for my appointment at 10. We've been debating on doing this for a while, but today's the day we're actually going to do it. And it's going to be 2 to 3 weeks before we sign and everything's a done deal. But we thought long and hard about this, and we feel like that's the only way that we can get some relief. My husband's not very happy about the fact that I sold my ring, but we needed the money quick, and I wanted to be able to pay in full today. But he's not happy with me, and he's also not happy that the savings, we have no more savings now. It's gone. We're going to be doing a Chapter 7, and so we're going to keep the house and car, but like the credit cards, all of that will be discharged, and it's kind of giving us a fresh start, which is what we need, because I have been stressing out of my mind over the amount of bills and debt that we have.
Man, that just hit me hard. You know, the thought of my wife giving up the one thing that happened on that very day, with the scratches and dents, all of them from things we've gone through, from memories, both good and bad, the hardships, the renovation of our home, like to give that up, to give to an attorney to discharge debt. Man, it is so scary. And in this video, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about what these credit card companies have done to people. And some people are just giving up. They're like, you know what? I can't handle the stress anymore. What do I have to do to get out of it? Because the amount of interest paid on these debts is uncatchable for a lot of people. Let's get to it.
Me, just a normal person with a normal job in this ass economy that can't afford anything these days except your bare necessities, then you've slacked on paying some of your bills. And that's okay. This is a no judgment zone because I haven't paid all my bills either. And I'm really slacking, especially on my credit card bills. And I'm going to keep it real. I don't give a shit about shit I bought last year or 6 months ago or when I swiped the credit card. I don't fucking care. Thanks for letting me have that stuff. I don't have the money to pay you back right now. So I used to be really religious with this. Like I would send a set amount of money each month and just auto pay the credit card so it would keep my balance down, you know, so that I didn't fall behind. Well, about 7 months ago, I took it off auto pay. And for about 6 months religiously now, like every day, multiple times a day, they're calling to get their money. We all got a job to do, and I know that you're tired of dialing my fucking number and I'm not picking up the phone. So I accidentally answered.
I'm going to say this. They're going to play this video either at bankruptcy court or at the moment these creditors decide to sue her, and she's going to lose hard, okay? Thing about bankruptcy is the judge has to allow you to go bankrupt, and there is, you know, a hearing and a lot of the stuff gets brought back up. But what do you think about her? Is this entitlement that she doesn't care that she's using somebody else's money to buy things that she's going to get rid of anyways? And what are people buying to go this far in debt? I mean, in this video, we're going to see people that are tens of thousands of dollars in debt, and it's not just for food. Some of it is for survival, and credit cards, you know, sometimes they're used for that. But for some of these, it's just the next handbag.
One of their calls in the car the other day, my car hooks to my phone, so if you hit a button on the steering wheel, then it automatically answers. And it was Teresa from, you know, Credit One or Capital, one of those that I have. And she goes, "Hi, this is Teresa, and I'm calling for Brandy. I'm from the credit card service." And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to answer this phone call. Like, I'm really sorry about that. I don't have your money. Like, that's why I don't answer the phone or the emails that you sent me." And this bitch, she goes, "Well, we're like 2 steps away from sending you to collections, and that's really going to affect your credit." Teresa, do you not know that also not paying your credit card bill plummets your fucking credit? You might as well take my credit score out back and fucking put it out of its misery, Teresa. Do you also realize that right now, my credit score means absolute fuck all nothing to me? Like, do I look like I'm buying a house? Do I look like I'm buying a car? Does it look like I can afford to buy anything ever again? Teresa, I'm going to save us both the time here. Just send it to collections now, because between now and next month when you keep trying to call me, nothing's going to change. Nothing. So sorry about that, but thanks for all the stuff I bought on the credit card. I don't know what to tell you, and it's going to sit in collections too. I really, like, food, house payment, car payment, insurance, medicine, clothes, bare necessities. That's all I got the money for right now. Everything else, I could care fucking less. If you want to throw, I've been in collections my whole fucking life, Teresa. Send it to collections. And she just hung up on me. I don't think she had a pleasant time talking to me, and that's okay.
There is $1.2 trillion worth of outstanding unsecured debt like this that I don't think they're ever going to collect on. Credit card companies either have to discharge it or sue you for it or figure out some way to get that money. And in many cases, they're not going to get this money. And it will affect you when you go to buy your next car, or you try to buy a house, or you try to rent an apartment. And we're going to see in many of these instances where the poverty level is going to get ramped up because there's no way to escape poverty because so many have put themselves in this situation. If you have any type of savings, the creditors are going to sue you for it. If you have any type of material possessions, they're going to sue you for it. Chapter 7, bankruptcy, is you have to make a certain amount of money to qualify for these things. Not a lawyer. This is just from my experience. And if you make good money, forget it. Talk to a lawyer. But they're going to play this video at your hearing, and I guarantee the judge is going to tell you to pound sand.
I use my credit cards, even though I'm $48,000 still in debt, 109 overall.
109.
Person says that every card is over limit and I'm paying late fees. Well, there's a very specific reason for that. And it's because I'm paying off a 327% loan.
327% loan. There are things called usury laws, okay? There are debt laws. There are laws over debt. And that, I don't think, fits in that category. Sounds like an illegal debt. You need to know what you got to pay and what you don't have to pay. And she needs to read that.
That is tying up $650 a month for me. And that loan, if I can get it paid by next Friday, will actually end up saving me about $250 a month in interest. You heard that correctly. 327% too. Not all of these cards are over limit like you're saying they are.
Gambling?
My TJ Maxx credit card and my Discover are in hardship, and that is back pay, and I'm almost caught up. That's why you're seeing negative amounts. And TJ Maxx is closed. Capital One is not over the balance. It's actually under by $3. The last two that you're seeing, City and American Express, yes, they are over limit, but it's because I'm having to shift things around. Would I rather pay $40 in late fees, or would I rather pay 327% interest? The long and short of it is, I would rather take care of my 320% interest and then go get those cards caught up. I did use...
Now do that with all the rest of the credit cards. Get caught back up and cut them things up and don't ever use them again. There's some certain people that can do credit cards, and there's some that can't. And if you fall into the category of can't, cut them up. Because they're like a virus on your life. Because the debtor is slave to the lender, and you will have to work your fingers to the bone for the rest of your life to pay back the lender. Because it's slavery. It literally is.
I'm 31, I'm single, I live alone, I'm currently paying off $29,000 in credit card debt. I'm definitely wearing the same pajamas as yesterday, but that is not the point of this video. I wanted to do a little exercise of how much interest I paid in the last 365 days on my highest balance credit card, which is my Bank of America credit card. It currently has over $20,000 balance right now. In April of 2024, I paid $430.29 in interest. In May, I paid $416.24. In June, I paid $425.26. July, I paid $407.32. August, I paid $423.38. September, I paid $428.33. October, I paid $401.23. November, I paid $415.81. December, I paid $329.20. January, I paid $410.64. February, I paid $409.26. Finally, last month, I paid $367.51. That is my lowest interest in the past 365 days, bringing our grand total of $4,505.09 paid in interest on my Bank of America card. I'm gonna go to bed now. I'm 31, I'm single, I live alone.
What does she buy to be $20,000 in debt? I mean, one, she hasn't got out of her pajamas in 2 days. Two, that might be the reason why she has $20,000 in credit card debt. But what are these limits that these credit card companies are giving people that obviously don't have the income to catch them back up? You would think at some point they would turn off your card. I mean, I don't use my credit card like hardly at all. And they shut off one of mine the other day that I'd had for a very long time because I wasn't using it. But yet, they'll allow them to have these running deficits and just keep giving them more credit. Probably because they'll keep getting in more debt, and it's just giving them rope to get in trouble with.
This is an update on I'm 24 years old and I started my debt payoff journey 3 weeks ago. And this is an update on how much credit card debt I owe. I currently have 6 accounts that need to be paid off. The first one is Affirm. I only owe $198. And that account will most likely be paid off this week with my side hustle money. The next card I owe on is my Freedom card. I owe a total of $1,805.82. On my Capital One card, I owe $4,268.06. Best Buy card, I owe $6,448.58. My Chase card.
What was she buying at Best Buy? I mean, like, you couldn't put me in Best Buy and I just could buy, I couldn't think of $6,000 worth of stuff to buy. It'd be like 2 TVs, maybe a computer, and some headphones.
Credit card, I owe $7,230 exactly. Discover, I owe $11,260. That brings me to a total of $31,210.46. But because the Affirm account will be paid off this week, my actual credit card debt total at the end of the month will be $31,012.46. My goal for the month of April is to pay off the Freedom card, which is $1,805.82. I do believe I can make that happen, so follow me on this journey. Let's pay this debt off together. If you
I'm about to make, but we're gonna do my 2023 credit card interest reveal. How much did I pay in credit card interest in 2023? And let me tell you, it's horrid. It's really horrible. I feel like I have actually not really talked about how much I get charged in interest very much because it scares me and I don't like to think about it. At this point of my credit card debt payoff journey, I am not like opening any more cards or like doing any other like additional things because I am going to be able to pay off the debt so quickly. But had I started over, I absolutely would have done a personal loan or been better with my balance transfer. The issue is I did a balance transfer from my big Chase card that has my highest percent of interest, which I'll check and see what the actual percentage is. I'm not really sure. I did a balance transfer last year, but I still was not in the place to be paying off my cards. So all the balance transfer did for me was move $8,000 of credit card debt onto a 0 interest card, give me more credit line on my Chase card, and run that card up again. So we just ran it back up. Anyways, okay, for the credit card interest reveal, on my Chase card, I got charged $5,098.46 in credit card interest. That is 1 month of my salary. I got charged my salary and interest. And then my other card, my Wells Fargo one that is at 0 now, I got charged $569.85. So in total, I got charged over $5,500 in credit card interest. The APR on that credit card, which is the interest rate, was 25.24% on the Chase card. I feel like for the most part, I would get charged like $300 to $400 in interest. But honestly, like when my cards were really, really high, I didn't even notice that. Like I didn't even notice it. It wasn't until I started actually paying off my credit card debt that I started paying attention to how much interest I was actually being charged.
When you're thinking about over a month of your salary is gone poof, just like that to a banker, over something you probably didn't need to begin with. I would do everything in my means to get rid of that interest rate. I mean, if it meant living out of my car for a year, because you're never going to catch this. Like, I don't understand. Like, I know people are laughing because it's so crazy, but the fact that they make light of it, what do you think about this? I know if it's, to make your family survive, you had an illness, you had to pay for some type of childcare to go to work, you had to do a lot of things, but some of this is just pure WTF. A lot of people always just say, well, I'll just refinance the debt. I'll just refinance the debt. You will never retire. You will never be wealthy. You will never get out of the rat race. And some of this is inflation. Things got really expensive on people really fast that were living just barely at their means to begin with. And you can blame the politicians printing trillions of dollars with the Federal Reserve, just pumping it into the system, and it caught everybody, just like a lobster and a pot of boiling water when the water just keeps getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and he doesn't notice it until he's cooked. And you're seeing that in real life right now.
People pay off their debt. People attempt to pay off their debt. People throw all of their money at their debt because of the story in their minds that they will be debt-free. We all hope to be debt-free. We all have been hopefully debt-free at one point or another. We have all slaved and put all of our money towards our debt. What happens when that cycle is endless and you never actually reach the point of having the disposable income? And the whole time you've been paying off that debt, you were using that disposable income on the debt, and then it just keeps getting farther and farther away because of inflation, because of emergencies, because you don't have an adequate savings account, you don't have an adequate checking account. At this point in my life, I strongly believe that I am putting myself and my family at more financial risk to be spending all of my money on my debt, to try so hard to budget on a shoestring and and only give myself X amount for food and miscellaneous tasks. Things are way too expensive right now for me to not have hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in my checking account just to cover food, just to cover rent, just to cover my kids need bigger socks and I gotta go run to Target. Those purchases require disposable income. But every time you look at your bank and you see disposable income and you think, oh, I'm gonna put that towards my debt because one day I might have...
She seems like a victim of lifestyle creep to me, where she has incrementally increased her spending as she got money, and then all of a sudden inflation happened and that disposable money is not there anymore. Look, I know a lot of people that are house poor. I know a lot of people that refuse to live in certain parts of town because they think they deserve to have that big house. And then that thing happens and they're like, you know what? I'm gonna swipe the credit card. I'm gonna take out more debt. I'm gonna refinance the house for that new car. I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. And then they say, oh, you know, it's whatever. Fast forward 20 years from now, and she will probably be living on a fixed Social Security income, and she will blame it on the government. Well, the government does make it pretty rough for her sometimes, but that, I can just feel her vibe, and she is the reason why she is poor.
No debt, and I might have endless disposable income. You have the disposable income right now. Spend it on what you need to spend it on. Save things for the next emergency and just pay the debt when you can. You know, nothing is promised. Truly, truly, we do not know what is around the corner. I think at this stage, politically, socially, financially, it's actually super risky to put tens of thousands of dollars into debt, which is not bringing anything back to you when we have no idea what is on the horizon.
I mean, if it's a matter of your kid getting food or you know, getting clothes on their back, yeah, go for it. But this is what these credit card companies want you to do. They want it to go into default so they can accelerate the interest rate, so they can do these things for you to owe more money, and it stacks on top and on top and on top and on top. Before you know it, the snowball is so big you'll never catch it. And you really got to choose in life. And that's why I said don't start the debt to begin with. If you can't afford the house, don't buy it. I mean, they say mortgage brokers make you broker. But if you have to rent, cool. Keep your expenses down and use cash. You know, maybe if you don't have it, you're not entitled to it. If you haven't created it, if you're not a producer, then you don't expect to have these fancy things. And I grew up as a person that never had fancy things. I always had yard sale stuff or things I got on sale or whatever. I drove an old truck cross country 4 times. I learned to live within my means, and now that I have means, I still live on the same budget. And you just got to know that if you got $5 in your pocket, you're eating the dollar menu. Back when you could do it for $5. Now it's $10.
Imagine being me, okay, and your credit card payment is due today. The minimum payment that you can make is $165. There's only $100 in your personal checking account. You don't have a personal savings account right now. You have to go to your business bank account to withdraw money to make your minimum credit card payment, and you're 30 years old. And still believing that you're going to be the person who creates generational wealth for you and your family.
You got to believe it. You got to believe it. The opportunity is just around the corner. You got to be disciplined. You got to be motivated. If you're a business owner out there and you felt this, comment down below. and tell me how you got through the struggle. And it's hard for small businesses out there right now. I'll say it. The economy is rough. And as the stock market keeps going down, it's going to continue to get rougher. Comment down below what you think.
So, my husband and I are $60,000 in debt. Okay. Part of the problem.
Did you buy for $65,000?
Let me explain how we got here. So in June of 2022, we had a good amount of savings and decided that our home that we've been living in for a couple years just needed some maintenance and some upgrades. You can see behind me, we live in like a very normal house, but there were some things like on the outside where our stucco was falling off, so we needed to have that repaired. We had our house painted, we upgraded our bathroom a little bit, and also decided to pay off my husband's private student loan because the interest is not great. And so we had plenty of savings and we decided to just drain those bad boys. We both had really stable jobs. We would be able to.
This is how it always goes. Really stable jobs. Here's the thing about any type of maintenance on your house. Put a 10% plus side on that, because you're going to go down a rabbit hole. It's going to be more expensive than you thought. It's going to take more time than you thought. You're going to have contractor fraud. You're going to have contractors skip on you. You're going to have them run over 2 or 3 months, and it's going to be way more than you initially thought. Just keep that in mind.
To squirrel away some money over time and build back up our savings again. 2 weeks later, unexpectedly, I was laid off from my job. And I'm the breadwinner of our household, so it did not.
This is why an emergency fund is so important, and you do not touch it. You do not go under that $10,000 or 6 months of expenses, because this happens. And then you get stuck with credit card debt at 25%.
I was unemployed.
Murphy's Law will always happen. Murphy will always show up. And if you don't know what Murphy's Law is, look it up.
Go well. I was unemployed for about 7 months. Thank goodness I had social media to keep us afloat for a little bit, but here's the deal. We had to put a lot of stuff on credit card to be able to keep ourselves afloat. So anything that could go on a credit card went on a credit card. And that allowed my husband's income to pay for our mortgage, our car payments, our daycare, things like that. But everything else went on a credit card. We cut back as much as we could, but
I'll tell you what, childcare is so expensive. It's so hard to get if you can get it, and you're just happy to get it. So you do everything in your power not to lose it. And it just keeps going up and up. That's one of the biggest problems in our society right now, is you do not have anywhere to put your kid to go be productive. And it's like this vicious circle. But yet we have to have kids, or the country ceases to exist. Like right now, we are at below replacement rate most parts of the world, and they've created a system for us to not allow us to have kids. It's wild.
So this right here, this $14,058.18 is the amount of credit card debt, along with a few other petty debts that I am in as of March of 2025. And the reason why I am posting this is to hold my damn self accountable and get this shit paid off. Now, I do not want to take out any money from my savings to pay any of this down. My goal is to,
I don't know, if your interest rate's 25% and your savings account's 3% or 4% or whatever it may be, pay down the debt as much as possible. Put a few shekels in your pocket for a rainy day. $500 or $1,000, whatever your rent is that you can make next month, and get to hustling, because this is going to destroy your rate of return in your savings account. You're not even getting anything. Like you're paying debt, and you got to eat on rice and beans or tuna and water. Go bartend at night. Go do whatever you can to pay the lender back, because you can't quit until that's done. Because when that debtor comes after you, and most of them are really good, you will never own anything, okay? They will levy your bank accounts. They will garnish your wages. And if it's the IRS, woo, he gonna get his, okay? The government is gonna get his. So I hope you like this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below with what your thoughts are on these videos, because it's very important that people read those comments so they know what to do. Not everybody grew up with a dad or a mom that taught them what credit card debt is and all these things. The only way they learn is from the internet. That's how I learned, was from the internet. So comment down below. Have some discourse, argue back and forth. Is it the government? Is it the lenders? Is it credit card company, corporate America? What do you think? And if you happen to be looking to buy real estate on the Gulf Coast of Florida, Alabama, my email's down below. I'd be happy to help you. And if you're looking to buy anywhere in the country, and I'll help you find an agent, that way you don't have to do all the hard work, because I have the network for it. And I'll see you guys in the next video.